No, and then you know what he said? We'll talk later. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Season 2, Bad Publicity. Today we're going to talk about the Shaper identities that are out, 5 of them. We're going to rank them 1 to 5 and give our thoughts about them.
5 to 1.
5 to 1, 1 to 5. Right.
Oh, I put mine as 1 being the worst.
1 is the best.
No, 1's
so
the best.
Read it in reverse.
He's not capable of that. We're going to do another take.
I'm not capable of reading. This is all pictures. Scroll.
Alright, so let's go through. You want to start? Number 5?
Yeah, my number 5 is the Professor. I think he's kind of the weakest one right now. Now, this is a disclaimer, I don't play Shapers, but I play against a lot of Shapers. And I just feel like the Professor is probably my favorite one next to Exile. But he just doesn't have the tools, but I think he's going to get to the point where, like, especially after the spin cycle, when we see a lot more programs and stuff like that, I think he's going to be probably the most competitive, and he's going to become the best. I think he's going to be the go-to in about a year. But that being said, he's not right now, in my opinion. I think he's probably the worst.
Number 5?
Number 5 for me is also the Professor. I'm along the same lines. As things stand right now, oh, and yeah, we should say that too. This is as things stand right now. Check the date of the video before you just flame us online a year from now.
I said there's only 5 of them out.
Yeah,
so
no, I know.
These are
You never know what Fantasy Flight's going to do, right? So, yeah, don't flame us. Basically, yeah, Professor, because as it stands right now, he's not the hottest. Like, it's very, very difficult to find a good, solid deck that could really benefit from his ability, just with the current card pool that we have. So, mimicking what you say, essentially. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist, clearly, to illustrate that.
My number 5 is Exile. I just feel that I don't think his power is as good as you think it is. You might only be able to rip through it, use his power 3 times. Even though draw mechanic is very, very powerful in this game, installing from the heap, you're going to need a bunch of cards in your deck that specifically do that. And I feel that those cards just take up too much space right now. He's just not my go-to Shaper. We can talk more about Exile when he comes up in other people's lists. So that's number 5 across the board. Number 4.
I wrote Exile.
So this is a good transition.
I mean, for all the right things that you said, but like, I like the idea of Exile, and I know people are going to say because he wears a hood, and I've heard that because apparently he looks like me or something like that. I think I'm way better looking than Exile, but he's the one that I want to work. I mean, I like Andy as a criminal player, and I feel like you said, you might only draw 3 cards, but in reality, Andy only starts with 4 cards, and you have the potential to gain a lot more cards. I think the cards that work well with him just aren't out yet necessarily, but I mean, we already see like a lot of people running clone chips, which just are insane. I don't know. I really liked his income card, the Trash the Program card, but I don't know, it just doesn't work the way I'd like it to.
I think your number 4.
My number 4 is Exile as well.
So just to bring you into the conversation.
Yeah, but to continue off of what Jameson said, when you're playing him, if you want to use him effectively and take advantage of his ability, it does force you to take X cards in the deck in order to make it run properly.
Exile cards.
Oh, har. Anyway.
You're welcome.
And what that does is it pigeonholes you into a style of play. It turns you into a more predictable player, which when you're a runner and you're predictable, it's not good. You're not going to win as many games as you think you might from the ability.
the corporation's going to know that you're going to be trying to ditch cards into the heap.
They'll see it ditch, and then they'll go, okay, well, I've got to turn before he does something, right? Or he's able to get past this right now if you're only sitting at 2 of the 3 icebreakers you have. Or it's, you know what I mean? It leaves the window open.
So I think, like, on that note, like, I think that might be a misconception. I think that...
oh, no, it's a full conception.
I've played against one of the local players, Doc, who just moved down here, and he plays Exile. Frodo. He plays Exile to the point where right off the bat, instead of building a rig, he's just pitching everything, and it becomes to the point where you can't really follow what's going on. And then he's got the mem chips and the test runs to bring in whatever he needs. So he becomes, I wouldn't say static, I would say that he becomes very adaptable to almost every situation. And with the admins being able to be replayed, and with the Levier R Lab access keys, or whatever the hell that name is, it becomes a viable way of just recycling and playing all of his stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think, you know, like Caleb was touching on, I think it pigeonholes you to a style of play that, you know, like...
No, I agree.
If you're going to use him, you're going to want to try and take advantage of his power. You're going to put cards in the deck that take advantage of that, and then you're not going to be able to adjust quick enough.
I agree with that, but I think people are kind of longing to have this new deck archetype that they can actually grab onto. And I'm not trying, I mean, he's my number 4, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to say he's amazing, I'm just saying, I think that some people, like me, want that type of deck to work, but just right now it's not. Mm-hmm. I just think that, like, I think that's how it is.
Yeah, I know, because my initial thoughts on him, you know, I really thought that this was going to be something that I was going to play around with more, because before he came out, I was, you know, sneaking in retrieval runs and just different ways to get cards out of the heap. And I was like, wow, if I'm pulling cards out of my heap and stuff like that, I'm getting now another bonus.
Yeah.
But now it's just, it seems too niche right now.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So my number 4 is actually the opposite of what they had said. It's the Professor. I think he's got great potential, and I think you're really going to see the top tier people using Professor right now. People that, you know, their creative juices flow a little more, because there's not really a lot of programs, like you were saying before, you know, that are linked together with some kind of common thread. Pretty much you're taking all the best programs that are available, mashing them into a deck, and, you know, throwing some
one extra femme fatale.
Right? And then on top of that, then you're putting some searchers in there for you to get the program that is needed. And I don't feel that all those programs work well together at this point. Like, I have tried it, and it's just not there yet. It's almost the, you know, it's so close you can taste it kind of thing, but...
I think you touched on it really well, and I say this a lot to, like, people who like the concept of idea, but they don't think it's working right now. Like, when NBN, I mean, before Beal came out, or Genteki before Fetal AI, it's like, people would tell me that they like this, and they want to play this, but they don't because it's not competitive. Yeah. But I think that in the right mindset, like you said, people who are playing Professor right now will be better with Professor years from now, because
it's only going to get better with age.
Exactly. Right? So you take your lumps right now, and I said that about Genteki and NBN, and you know, like, I think the proof is there. Like, people who actually play it when it's bad and can even squeeze out games. I'm not saying go to a tournament and play
if you're pulling some wins out with the Professor, you're on the right track.
Yeah, exactly.
Something's going to happen. There'll be like a data pack or 2 released from now, and then someone's going to find that just dynamite combo that's almost unbeatable, right?
But I think, like I said, that's what it's for, is someone that's willing to take a little bit of a risk, someone who's creative, and because it's like, it seems so good, you're like, oh, take splash costs, throw it out the window, and I can have one of everything.
Because influence is probably the most important thing in this game. You know, how much influence you can have, and, you know, like, I heard online, I think it was Hollis said that his least favorite thing that he interacts with in the game is when people outside of criminals splash account siphon, because it's so big and it's just something that you don't always expect. But when it happens, like when a shaper plays account siphon out of game, you're just never ready for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's so true, and you know, it's those tricks that are catching people off guard, right? Like with the professor, you know, you sit across from the professor, and right now you can kind of know if someone puts down the professor, you know exactly what's in his deck, because you know what the best programs in the game are, and he's got them, right? So expect that. Anyway, I think that's enough on
Number 3, I want to go first.
All right.
I want to go first because I'm probably going to get hosed for this, but I'm going to give you a real good reason as to why this is my choice. My third spot is actually Chaos Theory. So the reason why I picked Chaos Theory for spot number 3 was because, see all the handshakes and stuff, is at this point in time, the other two I think are a little bit more useful. As time goes on, guys, and you're going to see this, as the card pool expands, her ability gets worse, because her ability right now to run the 40 cards and have that lean machine is really, really beneficial when there's a small card pool and all you want is the leanest of the lean kind of thing. But as the card pool expands and the cards get better and better, you start to want to have more variety in your deck in order to deal with the wider variety of threats that exist as it expands. So that's why she sits in my third spot. She's still really, really good, and people out there run super tight decks with her, but she gets worse every time a data pack comes out. Every time something else gets released, she just gets marginally worse. So she's sitting at my 3 spot.
I guess we're going to bite our tongues until we get down north.
That's all I got.
So my number 3 is Kit. Kit, I feel, has a lot of hype behind her because of the whole Atman and the fact that R&D Lock is basically the best deck, well, the most competitive deck you can play.
Atman, Data Sucker.
I think everybody knows what I'm talking about, yeah.
It's got to be 2 cards, guys.
Yeah, I don't like the influence factor, and I feel like with Atman it kind of made the whole, like her whole ability redundant, because she's going to break through anything she wants through with Atman through to the R&D.
So
how to butcher English. Slice with.
Just to be able to jump in the conversation,
What? It was a garbled mess.
I was chewing on my tongue.
I knew where he was going. My number 3, and I did struggle with this, it is Kit. You know, like you said, when this card came out, I think you looked at it and you were like, wow.
Yeah.
This is the most powerful identity of the Shaper brand to date. Everyone online was drawn to Kit. It was all Kit. In the articles, people were making their theory decks all Kit based.
Birthday cakes. Like,
oh yeah. There was like Hallmark was making like anniversary stuff.
Domain names, they were all gone.
Yep.
I couldn't get Kit for the life of me.
And after running it like for a good chunk of time, the Atman has made it obsolete. It's not the powerhouse that you think it is going to be.
And the lowered influence.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I don't either, but I mean, if this was which card do we love the most? For some reason, I'm in a love-hate struggle with Kit right now, and that would have been my top spot, because I don't want to give up on you, Kit. I don't. I think there's something there, but it's just not.
That's like stalker talk right there. There's something there, baby.
You're not reciprocating my love. She can easily be worked around. I feel.
Okay, weird. Okay, we'll talk more about her when we get to Corpse. So we're going down to number 2.
2.
You gonna go, or you want me to go?
You can
You
go.
start. Get started.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Chaos Theory. And I really wanted to, again, make Chaos Theory higher than this. I wish there was more Shapers. Because Chaos Theory is what took me through all of last regionals. She was very faithful, and I feel that if you really know what you want out of a deck, Chaos Theory just cuts all the bull out of it. You have the cards that you need. You can get them anytime you need because you're running the slim amount, and it just flows. I don't know what else to say. Maybe.
Well, to keep that train going, I voted for Chaos Theory too, and I'm not trying to start like an auto argument, but I couldn't disagree with you more with the whole card pool making it worse. I think that just having like a lot of ingredients and boiling them down to like a sharp point with her is just like ridiculous. I think that the bigger the card pool comes, the more cards you'll see that do something like
it's just watered down.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. I think the Chaos Theory is probably still the second most competitive you can play.
Yeah, I was really shocked to see her be left behind when Creation and Control came out.
Well, I mean, with admins, you just like, I mean, I think we're all going to get down to it, but like there's one strong identity that works well with admin, and admin being the beast that it is right now, I think that took the whole shaper thing and whoop.
So number two?
Number two for me is Kit. So I'm kind of on the reverse end of that, just because her ability, and again with Atman and all these other great things that came out that work really well with her, it is very, very hard to keep her out. It's incredibly hard to keep her out early game, which is a really big problem for a lot of decks, especially any fast advance build, basically any build at all, right? Unless you've got traps that you're waiting to spring to maybe bust that early win if you're a good poker player, you're in a lot of trouble when you come up against her, because you know your Chimera isn't saving you anymore. Nothing's saving you anymore.
I do like that aspect a lot. Like that's probably what put her higher up in the scale for me, is just how aggressive she can play.
Yeah, and that's what I've been finding when I come up against her. Early,
that's what when I say aggressive, I mean like that's like I think like right off the bat you're going bam, you're just hitting.
There's no easy game for the court.
If you're not that kind of player that comes out the corner when the bell rings swinging, Kit's not going to be for you. No. Kit, you can't sit there and start setting your rig up with Kit and getting everything in place. Yeah, you have to
just skipping that first piece of ice isn't going to do anything. That's like basing your whole game around playing account or inside jobs. Yeah, like eventually it's not going to work. You know what I mean?
And no amount of tinkering is going to
get you through.
Is going to get you through.
The puns are killing me.
Do you want one?
I don't.
You almost have to treat her a little bit criminal mentality.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was literally just gonna say she's really blue.
And she's a blue. That's probably what appeals to you higher on the list.
Because when you're running, you got to be aggressive, and I mean she's screaming aggressiveness, right? So there's only one that I'd put above her in the aggressiveness category, but.
And if you've done your math at home and you're following along in the bad publicity score sheets, it's going to be unanimous across the top here.
That's funny. I didn't think that would happen.
Really?
Yeah, I really didn't think that.
Oh. I figured.
I didn't know these two, and you didn't know mine, and you didn't know mine. No. You knew his, though, right?
So, number one.
So, you copied him.
Is?
Kate.
Miss McCaffrey. She married?
Mac. She's married to me.
She's not married to you.
She would be
if
she met me.
That's my future ex-wife.
The reason I think if Creation and Control didn't come out,
or Chaos Theory would still be on top.
Chaos Theory would still be on top. With the amount of programs and hardware and stuff that Shaper got, Creation and Control was built for her.
Yeah, she definitely didn't suffer from it, right? I just like her because, again, the way my mind works, I'm all about the sure thing, right? And having an identity that is constantly going to be paying you when you install programs or hardware, whatever you're choosing to do that turn, is saving you that money. People argue that, well, she's a rig builder. Well, not really. She's you have a free credit every turn that frees up another credit for running, right? So
I think with the rig builder, like she is still 100% a rig builder,
and a link too.
But before all of these like fun shaper cards came out, really a rig consisted of 3 cards that never changed. You know what I mean? Now your rig is shifting and mutating, like, and adapting to whatever's going on, which is exactly what the shapers wanted. Like when I read the synopsis on the shapers, like right at the beginning of the game, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like they're tinkering with everything and they're manipulating their programs to find ways, and I love the flavor of they're not like actually doing it to make money or they're just doing it to say, hey, yeah, I hacked Hans Byroyd the other day. Like that's what they do for fun. But at the beginning, it was just like, it was so stagnant. It was like, okay, so you have a Ninja, a Corroder, and a Gordian Blade. That sucks. You know what I mean? Like that. I mean, they're good programs, but
not all of us, man. Peacock.
Yeah,
I'm still a Peacock man.
It's because you can't afford it. But that's what I'm saying. Like I like clone ships, and I like the mutating fact, and I mean, with self-modifying code being, I know you guys don't agree with me, but being better than test run. Using that on the opponent's turn is giving you, like, if you can use that multiple times, it's like you're gaining $2 every turn, right? So
Yeah, like I said, with the cards that came out in Creation and Control, and like you were saying, the flux of the rig, for you to save that money,
yeah,
every time,
and it's not even like you're always paying clicks to do it now. Like,
and for you to get your like monolith out for like 17.
Oh, we forgot all about that. 17 monolith. Game broken.
Wait, can I run 17 monoliths?
Maybe.
No, only 3 copies are allowed.
No, I know.
Okay.
I wouldn't run any.
There's the breakdown. Let us know what you think. Let's get
That's a good name.
a whole bunch
Just
of
call it the breakdown. Right?
There's let us know below in the comments. Let's start this up. Find out who you rank 1 to 5 for the shapers. Make sure you give this the thumbs up, the likes, the subscribes. We're in the next season, guys. Let's start those subscribes, pushing them again.
Oh, yeah. Just for my own benefit too. And if you're gonna flame us, at least give a reason. Give a reason why you're flaming us, so I got something to work with. That'd be cool. Thanks, guys.
He's our form soldier.
Yeah. Coming at you. Make sure you come correct, son.
Damn, I can't even spell.
That's done. Bye-bye.